It looks like more trouble is brewing for the Adani Group. Adani Enterprises will be removed from the Dow Jones Sustainability Index prior to opening on February 7th. The news comes a day after NSE Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports and Ambuja Cements under the additional surveillance measure framework. The Dow Jones Sustainability Indices said the action had been over allegations of stock manipulation and accounting fraud. Meanwhile, Bangladesh has sought revision of a 2017 power purchase agreement with Adani Power as the price for the coal-generated electricity appeared too expensive. His stocks continue to be in the red, and amid this crisis, Adani, who not long ago was the world's third richest person, has now slipped out of the top 20 list of the world's richest people. That's the latest on Gautam Adani and Adani Enterprises post the FPO being pulled back. The latest, including a ruckus in Parliament and being excluded from the Dow Jones Industrial Indices, the sustainability indices, on account of allegations of accounting fraud. Let's take a look at how Adani stocks are doing today so far. We're just about heading into market close now. Last half hour to go this Friday. Little bit of a recovery coming in, just about in the green. Adani Enterprises at 1609 at this point, and we'll pull up some of the other group counters as well. So there you have it. Adani Enterprises crawling back up about 3% in today's session, and let's pull up some of the others. We've got Adani Ports, which is the preferred one in the pack. It's up about 7% right now, 35 points, back up about 496. And the others, Adani Total, still down about 5%, as well as the Adani Transmission, that's still down at 10%. We've been seeing a 10% knock day on day on this one. And let's take a look at, finally, Adani Wilmar, which is also down about 5% today, giving you an idea of the continued rout in the Adani Group stocks. Remember, ACC Ambuja is relatively insulated today. This one is back up about 5% or so as well. So Adani Ports and ACC, Ambuja Cements, these ones are seeing a recovery, whereas the others are still very much in the red. But Adani Enterprise is seeing a spot of green this afternoon. Of course, the bigger question now is, what is Adani going to do in terms of refuting some of these allegations? He has come out and made a statement, but in terms of transparency with regards to, to some of those allegations, there are still some unanswered questions. And markets continue to look at the exposure to Indian banks to see if there is any kind of risk associated. Outside of that, the larger market seems to have moved on for the moment from this entire issue. The Sensex today was back up above 1.5%, 60,872. So it was a pretty decent day of trade, turning its attention back to, perhaps to the capex push that was announced in the budget, and to some of those positive triggers, as we also are going to be seeing, a whole host of other factors that lead to what's trending on the overall benchmarks here in India. But globally, the pressure continues and the perception continues as a huge overhang post the FPO and the Dow Jones Sustainability Indices, removing Adani Enterprises there, Adani Group companies, as of 7th February. That's the announcement that's come in. We already know global banks have also been shutting their doors to the group. 3 Adani shares are under additional surveillance measures now of the NSE. They've been put on the watch list by NSE and BSE, and this is under their surveillance measure framework. Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, Ambuja Cements, additional monitoring because of the extreme volatility we've seen across these counters. Remember, they've fallen about 40% or more just in the span of a week. Now, as Adani stocks face the brunt of the Hindenburg report, ratings agency Fitch has said there is no immediate impact on the rating of Adani entities and their securities. Fitch says it expects no material changes to its forecast cash flow. It also says that there are no near-term significant offshore bond maturities. reducing refinancing risks and near-term liquidity risks. Fitch currently has ratings on 8 entities within the Adani Group. Meanwhile, another rating agency, Moody's, says it's reassessing their assessments on Adani Group entities' financial flexibility in the aftermath of the Hindenburg report. All right, that's the latest we're bringing you on the Adani Group companies' share prices today, while continuing to see a knock stabilizing somewhat on select names like AEL and Adani Ports as well as ACC. Overall, Adani has now slipped to number 20 or so in the world rich list, as opposed to being on the top of that list. All of this post withdrawal of that 20,000 crore FPO. And this was, of course, a huge reaction coming into the Hindenburg report, the short seller bringing up allegations of shell companies and accounting fraud. Adani Enterprises on your screen up almost 3%. Markets, of course, will be closing in the next half hour or so. So the stock has managed to claw back somewhat into the green. A lot of attention also on the group entities and their current exposure. Of course, we're hearing from Fitch. They have no near-term liability. Moody's saying they're reassessing near-term risks. NSE and BSE have put group companies on the watch list. Dow Jones Industrials have said that they will be removing Adani Group companies from their sustainability indices as of the 7th.